I'm talking with Brian Kidd, and we were talking about the multibeam system, but it just so happens there's this big yellow thing over here. So I'm asking Brian what this is, and it turns out it's a Scanfish. So what is a Scanfish?
The Scanfish is an undulating CTD unit.
Undulating, that means it goes up and down.
Yeah, so it actually flies. It has these...
flies underwater.
Yes, yep.
Mm-hmm.
It has these fins here that will guide it down, to whatever level we set.
Okay, so we've got the fins over here, and these
rotate up and down.
Okay.
To actually fly the Scanfish.
I see you've got one on either side.
So we can determine the levels at which this thing flies in the water column by setting. It has an altimeter right under here.
Mm-hmm.
So when it gets to, between 5 and 3 meters off the bottom, it'll automatically turn around and come back up. And then when it gets to a certain pressure, it has a pressure sensor in the actual CTD unit right here.
So CTD. CTD police, our acronym police?
Conductivity, temperature, and depth.
Uh-huh.
So the pressure, when it gets up to we usually set it between 1 and 3 meters below the surface, it'll dive back down.
Okay.
You can also set the increment, how fast you want it to dive up and down.
The frequency.
If you want to get higher resolution data as you're going through the water column.
Okay.
Kind of speed it up.
I guess the dumb question is, why would I want to fly this thing up and down through the water?
Well,
we're measuring conductivity, temperature, depth.
This allows you to do ocean profiling at a higher resolution than just going to a station, stopping, taking the time to pick up the CTD, our physical single CTD unit that we just lower straight down.
Right.
This we can tow 24 hours a day, and we can do turns with it and cover a much larger area.
It sounds like you can put it on autopilot.
You pretty much can. You have to watch it here and there, but you can set the depths you want it to go and just kind of monitor it here and there. But, yeah.
Now, did they ever fail? Does that autopilot ever give up and it ends up taking a nosedive into the bottom?
You know what? It's pretty good. I've never had it do that.
I've heard it from other operators. Let's put it that way. It's like, well, we had a Scanfish.
Right. We've snagged lobster pots and crab pots, and that really ruins the day because this is the tow point. We tow it from one of our deck winches, our Dynacon Scanfish winch. It'll actually, the data cable plugs right in here, so we're getting real-time data up to our winch and then into the dry lab. So when you get any crab pot or lobster pot line down in this area, it can really hit that termination and just kind of chop it right off.
Yikes. And what kind of cable do you have coming back out of this? Your data.
It's actually a half-inch Rochester 301/301A winch cable.
Well, of course, that's what I use at home.
Yeah.
The Rochester 301/301.
It has 3 coaxial conductors inside the cable. So.
Okay, so it's copper.
Yeah, it's copper.
All right. And other than the CTD, is there other stuff you can put on this?
Yeah, there's over on this side we normally have a temperature sensor and a salinity sensor, conductivity sensor, and a pump. So as the Scanfish is flying through the water in this direction, if you can bring that camera over here, we have water flow through this. So when I have all my sensors in here, the water flow will come through there, go through the temperature, conductivity sensors, and a pump. And then the pump will pump it out back through here.
So it sucks water in and takes its reading and then pushes it back out again.
Exactly.
Okay. That's on this side.
That's on this side. Over on this side, we have the same similar pump system. This thing is normally right here. And then inside, we'll have an oxygen sensor measuring oxygen levels in the water. And a fluorometer measuring fluorescence in the water. And a pump as well on this side.
So as this is flying through there, it's sucking water in from both sides, doing its measurements, and then pushing it back out.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else goes on these things?
That is about it for these things.
They don't ever mount cameras or anything like that on it?
The only thing they mount on here is, I've seen some people mount an optical plankton counter on it. Which I don't know a whole lot about.
All right, but that's a separate unit that just bolts onto the top?
Bolts right onto the top and it plugs right in here, and then we monitor the data where we monitor the rest of the data.
What kind of storage requirements are required for running something like this?
A lot less than the multibeam. I don't have the exact numbers with me, but it's a small file.
Okay.
So
it's not huge.
No, because you're not creating images or anything. You're just saving text data basically.
So this is a Scanfish. Who makes the Scanfish?
Right now, a company. This is the old company that used to make it, GMI.
Yeah, they were just. I think Scanfish got picked up by another company. EVA.
EIVA. They currently support the Scanfish.